Hi, everybody. Welcome to Check This Book Out podcast. I'm Madeline Bookout, fan of mushrooms.
And I'm Hannah Bookout, gullible reader.
And I'm Nolan Bookout Pitts, space enthusiast.
And this is the Check This Book Out podcast. And we often talk about romance and fantasy here, but today it's all about sci-fi. And we have a guest.
Hello, Nolan.
Welcome,
Hello.
Nolan, to the CTB.
The CTB.
CTB.
That sounds very official.
I know. It's kind of fun.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
This is my husband.
Yay!
Hello. You probably are struck by the resemblance to the art from the Akatar. Not the Akatar. Who was I again? I was Rising.
You're a Resand.
Yeah, I look exactly like that with the muscles and all. So
Yeah, so now you
The
guys
wings
see
are
how
like
accurate.
really showing.
yeah,
right
I got
now.
them tucked in a little bit right now. But
Violet eyes. Yeah.
if only. If only.
But yes, this is Nolan. He is our second guest on the podcast. Today we're doing a Morning Star by Pierce Brown, which is the third book in the Red Rising trilogy. Book review today.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Long awaited.
Hannah and I both finished it within the past 24 hours. We have thoughts.
So many thoughts.
Nolan finished it, what?
A month ago, probably.
No, I
Yeah.
think you finished it in like March.
Has it already been 2 months since March?
Yeah.
3 months.
3
gosh.
months.
It was like 2.5 months ago. So it's a little bit. I had to refresh a little bit on everything before we started this. So, but definitely not as fresh as it is for you two, especially what you were doing yesterday when you were. We'll get to that.
You don't need to throw me under the bus like that.
The emotions ran high
Yeah.
at our house last night.
All right. Well, per tradition, Nolan, our guests will introduce themselves by sharing their favorite genre, their favorite book/series, and their favorite book boyfriend. So,
First of all, it's not a tradition until you've done it twice. So I am starting the tradition.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I can say what? No, I'm just kidding. I'll follow along Jamie's footsteps. So favorite genre,
Uh-huh.
like sci-fi, dystopian fantasy. So like fantasy set in modern or like that kind of realm. So like it's why I liked Crescent City from Sarah J. Maas and stuff. And then or sci-fi like Dune, Red Rising, those. So that would be my favorite genre.
You got like what, 10 pages into Dune?
Yeah, I like the setting, but the actual book is tough. But it is good. I just haven't done it. But my other books do tend to sci-fi. And
Nolan is dipping his toe into fantasy recently.
yeah. Yes, with Sanderson.
Fantasy hasn't been your like primary or predominant genre
True.
of choice.
Fiction has, but not fantasy.
Yeah,
That's
but
fair.
you recently read Mistborn,
Mm-hmm. Very
the
good.
first era, and
Very good.
he loved it, which is incredible.
I'm not gonna sing that part like you just did, but no, I'm good. But Mistborn Era 1 was very good, and I'm reading Warbreaker right now, and I've kind of paused. I've just been too busy. It's just I read in waves. So right now I'm on a slump. But Red Rising was great, and then favorite book.
Yeah, or series.
Okay, I think the actual answer to this, like all time, has to be Gregor and the Overlander, which is crazy.
What is that?
Exactly.
You know who wrote those?
Yeah, isn't it Hunger Games?
Yeah, Suzanne Collins.
Yeah. Before Hunger Games though.
Oh.
It was like a little bit younger age, but it was like target audience. But it's got like death and it's pretty.
It's got death.
I don't know. I remember it being pretty crazy as like an elementary school kid, but I read it twice, and I think I cried both times. Which, as you know me, I don't cry when reading or doing anything in my like. That's not.
That is actually so pathetic of you to cry while reading.
You want to see?
I am
can I
actually
share?
going to flash the picture on the screen.
Can
of
I share from
Madeline
yesterday?
Last night.
Anyways, and then last question was
Favorite book boyfriend or girlfriend?
no. I'll
No,
play
no,
along.
absolutely
I'll play
book
along.
boyfriend.
I'll play along. Book boyfriend. It's such a cop out to say reasoned after you made me him in that photo.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, what's his?
speak with
no,
your
no,
heart.
I know.
Say it with your chest. Come on now.
chest. You know what? He's grown on me a lot. Well, okay, I'll say it. The mermaid guy from Crescent City.
Therion?
Hold
the
on.
fuck?
Hold on. before the most recent book where he just became a moping. He was chill. He was cool. He was there to help, but he wasn't overstepping. He was just a perfect. And then he just got mopey. And like the whole time in the third book of the As I Remember It, he just kind of like lounged and fought for the Viper Queen or whatever. Yeah, he's pretty chill. I was going to say the main character of Crescent City, what's his face? Hunt. But that's basic too. So you know what? Give me Merman.
You literally like Mermaid Man.
You know what? Fuck yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come in here and
You're
be
probably
like...
the first person that's ever said that, and that's okay.
No, people were shipping him and her.
At least you are unique, brother.
People
Bryce,
were and Bryce. Yeah, I remember going through the ACOTAR subreddit and seeing what people, when you were starting all this, and I wanted to see what people were saying, and
That is true.
people were shipping that. Yeah.
And that's a choice.
And that's one of the least weird ships, probably. Okay. We should get back on Red Rising.
Okay.
That's so true.
I'll get us back on track.
Let's get down to business.
Yeah, everybody. Find your comfy reading chair. And additionally, grab your grav boots. And let's
Ooh,
check this book
on
out.
theme.
That was one of my best ones, I
Nah.
think.
That was hands down 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. First of all, let's start off with ratings.
Oh, yes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Nolan, do you remember yours?
Yes, and I was going to pull up my Goodreads because I think I wrote a good one for this.
Okay. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
I kind of like my
So I
rating
wrote,
for this.
I wrote,
No. Shh. We have a process.
We'll say rating first on the count of 3. We'll all say our rating, and then you can read your review.
Okay.
Do you know?
I know.
You do?
Yeah.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
5.
4.75.
Okay, loser.
Get out of
You're
here.
out of the cool kids club.
I knew that this was going to be a 5-star for you.
Me and her?
Her.
Oh.
I think I already knew that it was a 5-star for you.
I knew because I follow Nolan on Goodreads.
It's
And I actually don't have a review for this one. I reviewed the other two. But this one I just gave a 5 and was like...
Well, that's a crime.
It was during finals.
Inconsistency is... It was not during finals. It was
It was right
in
before
March.
finals. It was right before finals. It was April.
Oh.
The
I can tell you. It was April 19th.
The people haven't heard your thoughts on the past 2 books. If you wanted to read
Okay.
your reviews, you could.
Yes, I'll summarize them.
Yeah,
I wrote
his
long
reviews
ones.
are very long.
I write long reviews. Please follow me on Nolan Pitts on Goodreads. I write good reviews when I read. 4, 4, 5. But the first book was like a 3.5. So it was more like 3.5, 4, 5. I think they each improved. His writing improved. Everything improved. The only thing is, I think 1 had the best, like, succinct start to finish story. Is very concise. Like, I remember probably the most plot points from book 1
Mm-hmm.
because it was like just very digestible. But books 2 and 3 were definitely better written. There were multiple points of book 1 where I was like, this is his first book. Much like early books of Brandon Sanderson.
Okay, sweet.
Because you guys both gave 5 stars, I will just explain my negative
Mhm.
0.25.
Please do tell.
There was kind of a lull in the middle where I got bored.
Actually, I actually can see that.
Do you remember when?
Yes, it's when they go to like Ragnar's homeland. Like after that.
Okay.
Not
Like when they leave?
Yes.
I was gonna say before that was the part that the only part I got bored with was like the Sevro, Darrow butting heads.
No, same. In the very beginning.
Yeah, when they were kind of like fighting it out, I'm like, I don't know about that. It seems a little weird.
You thought it felt forced?
Yeah.
In
retrospect, it was fun.
Low-key, everything without Mustang in it, I was like, okay. And then when Mustang came out, I was like, yep.
You don't like Mustang?
No, I love Mustang.
Oh, you're saying everything without it. You're like, oh, this is why things are falling apart. And
Yeah.
then as soon as Mustang, you're like, now we're good.
It's better with Mustang around.
I do. Mustang is a character.
Yeah, there was like something about that 40 to 50%, like that 10% where I was able to put it down, which the first or the second book, I literally could not put it down.
I actually agree with that part. Book 2, I did not stop reading.
Yeah.
Looking back, there are parts of it where I'm like, yeah, that wasn't that great, but it was the most like next page. Book 3 had I did take like a day off one time just because I was like, we'll get there.
I took like several days off, I think.
But
I read a whole
that's
book
fair.
in between 40 and 50%.
See, I'm the same. It took me a month to finish this book. and I read it like as consistently as I have been. But I feel like the second half of this book was so immaculate that it earned its 5 stars. You know what I mean?
Second half is good.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Like I only took off 0.25, you know. I considered a 4.5 situation, but I was like, that would be not doing it.
So you
justice.
give it a 5 on Goodreads, or you will give it a 5 on Goodreads?
Yeah.
Not
Probably.
pressuring you. You can give
No,
it
I mean
4.
I like the rounding up.
Okay.
The rule of
There you go.
rounding up. On Fable, I will give it
Mhm.
4.75.
Oh, is that a different app?
Yeah.
It's what the cool kids use.
The girlies use it.
Yeah.
The nerds use it. The nerds of the book world use it.
Yeah.
Like I'm basic.
The
from using
nerds and the influencers is what it is.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Hannah and I
Jeez.
have kind of had a formula for the way that we've structured the past 2 episodes for Red Rising, and we've done world building, plot, and characters. World building. Okay, well, before we even start that, this is like spoiler episode territory. Like,
Oh, for sure.
why are
Track my hands with spoiler.
if you haven't read Morningstar, like, why are you here?
Nice.
I mean,
Way to shove away half
I'm
your
so
fan
glad
base. Just
that-
like, bye.
I'm so glad that you're
Get outta
here.
here.
But I'm proceed with caution, aka go read Red Rising and Golden Sun and go watch our other episodes and then come back. Okay. World building, I mean, like, I don't know how deep we want to get into that or what really there is to get into it. The only thing that I feel like we could talk about is like the state of the Rising.
Yeah, we can do that.
But like I also feel like that gets into plot. So
Maybe we can just mix the two.
okay, then I don't feel the need to.
I can say one thing on world building. It's short.
Actually, whatever you have thoughts in general, like across all 3 books
Okay.
about world building, feel free to bring up now because
Okay.
you're a new
The
perspective.
only thing I thought, the only time I ever got confused by the world building was when we left Mars and when we didn't. Because like I'm pretty familiar with like the solar system. Like I understand how this all works. But then like sometimes they'd get in ships and be like, okay, we're going to another planet. And then they'd be like, oh, we were on Mars this whole time. Like Ragnar's, when they went away to Ragnar's like area that was still in Mars, I totally forgot that was still Mars.
Same.
So when they like came back and they're like, yeah, we just kind of like flew low until we got back to wherever the big
Wait.
town is. Yeah, they were still on Mars during that whole Ragnar sequence.
That's on the North Pole.
It's just the North Pole of Mars. Exactly.
You literally just made that click for me.
Because the only part he ever mentions, or like the only part where, yes,
I thought that was like a moon of a planet.
if you read the
I
earlier
thought so
books,
too.
in the earlier books, it does mention that it's just the pole where they keep all the like really strong, not violets, obsidians.
No, you're not. No.
No, it's true.
yes.
I remember this.
They like make a big deal about flying away and then landing, and then on the way back they're just kind of like a plane ride, and I'm like, how? Oh, because it's just the poles, and they went high to like escape all the crap that was going on in the city. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's
I'm
true.
like actually gobsmacked.
So world building, I think the one flaw sometimes in this series is it gets mixed up on where we are.
Yeah.
Until
I mean,
he's,
I
like, in
don't
space
understand like space travel that obviously, and I've discussed this before.
You discussed this before. You were just about to say.
I've discussed this before that sometimes I have a little bit of trouble imagining space and like the space warfare.
Well, yeah. Like I'm compared to other sci-fi books and like Ender's Game and stuff. He does not handle the travel of actual space distances very correctly. Like he just kind of skips over getting from X to Y in like the time. They're just like, yeah, they're there. And I'm like, that would take weeks, months.
Yeah.
Well, they
Or-
do sometimes say that, like at the end, when they're going to Luna, Darrow says like it's going to take us 45 days to get there,
Yeah, but
And
that's
then-
the only
and then
time he
Mustang-
explains the
and
time.
Mustang's like that's a lot of time to let my brother like think and plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like it doesn't actually take that long in the it reminds me of like a video game where you just say, "Oh, rest for 12 hours and you're going to teleport from this spot to this spot. So like, yes, technically he did address that it does take a while, but you don't ever feel like anything's that far apart. Like the moon lords or whatever, the outer rim, they don't feel far away.
Also,
even though
like,
they're supposed to be
not
very
gonna
far
lie
away.
to you, what is the outer rim?
I believe it is.
And what is the core? And yeah, actually I do have stuff to say
The
about world
core
building.
is Mars to Earth.
Which, like, I get that, but like I just don't ever remember that being explained very well.
That part, it's in like a diagram at the front of the book too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a little
Jupiter
cop-out.
and behind is the outer rim.
But I think it's mostly the moons of Jupiter, right?
Jupiter, yeah. Like that's the
asteroid belt to Jupiter to moon, yeah. Which, yeah, that is insanely far from
like,
Mars if we actually like.
I guess also it's like we have not figured out space travel like this, so it's hard to comprehend in general.
Yes, but he does not attempt like some sci-fi books do to
like
explain
really
how they now his space battles themselves are interesting, and I think we'll talk about those in a little bit. I like how his take on ship v ship combat in space, but the other stuff about space he kind of leaves because at the end of the day, this is more of a political book than it is a pure
100%
like sci-fi book. So, anyways, I can save that for later. But
all right, let's move on to plot.
Okay, I figure we can just go in order, but obviously we can start with Darrow's imprisonment and his rescue. Gross that his toenails were so fucking long.
That detail was
like
diabolical. Forgot about that,
I
yeah.
did not need to know that.
What was up with the toenail like references in this book?
What, like, why are we talking about toenails so
why
much?
were Darrow's and Sevro's toenails
both brought up
and
long
and long?
Like the fact that they were curling. Ew.
Never let your toenails get that long? You never had them curling?
No.
Shut up. Ew, gross.
I don't think I have either. Okay, do you think, this is my question to you two, do you think, I don't have an answer, but do you think the 9 months in the little pit because we rebirthed him as a red again bit was too on the nose? Because that was like a whole thing.
Wait, what?
You're saying
He
that
was-
it's like it's a symbolism?
No, I mean, Jackal says it.
Oh.
I'm almost positive the Jackal was like, I kept him in there for 9 months because he was born, he was born a red and made into a gold, so we rebirthed him as a red or something like that. It's a whole, that's why he's in there for 9 months. It was a whole gestational,
like a reference to that.
put him back
like
in the womb thing. Like, seriously, that was, so like, I couldn't decide if I was like, oh, or if I was like, that is something the Jackal would do.
I think that the Jackal like does kind of have this poetic streak.
Like the Riddler. Like.
Yeah, sure. I mean, especially like even in the end too, I noticed some things where it's like he kind of likes having this theatrical, poetic element to his behavior and his actions. So, I mean, if he says that's what he was doing, then yeah, I believe that it's true. I just don't remember that detail.
I don't remember that detail either.
I just read with a close eye. I'm just kidding. I just, for some reason, I remember that.
One thing I have to say about this is that Darrow and Victra were not nearly fucked up enough to have survived like torture and imprisonment for a year. Like, you get it a little bit. Like, right after they get out, they're obviously unwell. But I'm like, there is no way that they're not like flinching at shadows for the next year.
Yeah, I do agree. I've seen books that write trauma from like
Yes, you know,
being tortured and stuff.
You know exactly
that,
where
like,
I'm going with this.
That was not a part of this book at all.
I think Darrow not being that traumatized makes a little sense just because he comes from like so much trauma already, I think. That I could see him, it just kind of adds to his character that's already has a lot of trauma. Victra, who has not, from what we've read, been subjected to, I don't remember like that level, because she was born a gold. She was like not subjected to that before.
She had to survive the Institute though.
Yeah, I guess, but still, it's like a different level than what Darrow was for like a year was carved and pain and suffering in the mines, and
That's
his wife
true.
he killed his wife kind of,
He's been whipped multiple
Yeah.
times, and
he might just have like ability to.
That's true, but like he literally didn't speak to anybody for 9 months.
No, it's true.
yeah, he had like the whole like voices in his head kind of thing, and that kind of just went away.
Yeah,
once
like
he
the
was
way that
out.
book starts is creepy as hell.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Like I had chills reading the first chapter or two.
Dark.
Literally. Except for Victra, it was the opposite of dark.
I will say the beginning in like his imprisonment, because it was so like you said, kind of like creepy, but also like devastating. Like that was such a good hook to starting the third book.
100%.
Like I kind of devoured like the first handful of chapters until they got back to Tinos.
Yeah.
Like I devoured all that.
The first
because-
20%, like
yeah.
you couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Especially like once Holiday and
Fucking love Holiday.
yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Holiday.
She was pretty good.
Especially once like she shows up and then like the claw drill, like
Yes.
the whole rescue scene was
Finding out his family's still alive.
was awesome. Also, what a poetic moment for like the claw drill to be what like rescues him.
Mm-hmm.
And he like steps off the and him like rescuing Victra,
Yes.
you know.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to talk about like Darrow and Victra's friendship, but we'll get to that.
Any other thoughts on his imprisonment?
Not
And
really.
his torture?
Mm-mm.
I will, moving on from that, if we're all wrapped
Yeah,
up,
good.
I will say that the part of the book that was, I don't want to say boring, but the part where I'm like, oh gosh, this again, like this trope, is that segment when he's in Tinos and like you kind of like see this like their, what would you call it? Their little safe haven that they've carved out, and like it's like war talks, and
It's like their refugee camp.
yeah, the refugee, and like they're having like political, or like they're strategizing, having these meetings and stuff. That is my least favorite part to read. Like I hate reading that.
That
I
seems
agree.
boring to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up video games again, but it's really it's apt. It's like when you play a video game and there's like the crew hideout, and it's like a Red Dead or any of these games. You go out and do your mission, you come back, you turn in the mission, and then you sit there and you just kind of like listen to cutscenes, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to do this," and then you go do that, and then you come back, and then once you do enough of them, then it progresses to the next big point. And it's like, while you're in there, it's just like, oh, there's nothing actually happening, and everyone's just kind of standing still, sending you out, and no one's ever in danger because they're all in this little safe haven. And then always in these books, it always is like a meteor comes crashing through the wall and everything is broken, and then they have to escape, and then a few people die, then we move on to like the actual story progression. So I agree with that. I don't even think about that till you brought it up, but yeah.
Like Colby, our oldest brother, he was saying that he likes to be a part of like the planning and like knowing what's going on, especially from a first person point of view.
He doesn't like to experience, like he doesn't like being told the plans by experiencing it when the character is.
Yes, he likes
to know up front and then see how it plays out.
Yeah, he likes being a part of the war plan scenes and that kind of stuff.
He said that especially because when it's first person, right?
Yes, and that made complete sense to me. But I don't like that. I think it's so boring. I would rather see the action. It's like, don't tell me, do it. What is that saying? What am I trying to say?
Actions speak louder than words,
Maybe.
Or don't tell, show, or something like that. Yeah. It's like a storytelling
Don't tell
technique.
me, show me.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So that to me was the most boring part. Even though there were significant scenes like Darrow and Sevro fighting and him reuniting with his family, Dancer, like there were big scenes, but
Talk about how Sevro has Darrow's fucking eyes.
yeah.
That scene was so funny to me. Like that was one of my first laugh out loud moments of this
Same.
book, and I had a lot.
Yeah,
I had a lot of laugh.
Forgot
out loud
about that.
moments.
there were. Yeah. Yeah.
Like the way he gets like, oh my god, like, did you want them? Oh my gosh, did I offend you? I'm so sorry. So tragic that everybody thought that Darrow was dead except for Sevro.
Yeah, that was sad.
But anyways, their reuniting was very cute.
Yeah.
The kissing?
No, I mean, maybe, who knows?
Anywho, that's all I really got to say about the beginning without like harping too much and getting too much into
Mhm.
detail, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Colby is. I thought his point was good because you do often like he does kind of. This book isn't actually truly first person because we are not in his head a lot of the time. Like in all the books, we are kept out of the dark, and then Darrow is revealed to have done something or known something the whole time that we didn't know.
Yes.
So it is kind of a fake first person. And I think that is an interesting point where when you're a true third person observer, the author can be like, aha, didn't let you know what Darrow was thinking. And that's how he got out of this sticky situation. And then in a true first person book, you should be able to be in there and be like, yeah, we figured that out. We did this. I saw you. I would have done this, inhabit the character. And this kind of straddles the line. I'm personally okay with it. I don't know why. I don't know if I just haven't developed a taste yet or if he just does it really well. I'm not sure. But yeah, I understand what Colby was saying where he kind of tries to do the best of both worlds and sometimes might annoy a reader who doesn't like one or the other styles.
It would have been better also if it was past tense because then it would have been like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Y'all.
If it's someone telling you the story, how they saw it, they could leave out details.
Yes.
But if it's me literally like
In
in
the
my
moment.
internal dialogue, I'm not going to be like, okay, brain, you
Shut
don't get to
out.
see
Don't
this.
tell the little people in my
Or if I'm
head.
writing my diary, I wouldn't be like, okay, I won't tell you about that till the end. Like,
Yeah.
That's a good point, especially like the ending. I said I really like Darrow and Sevro's reunion, but like they kind of have two reunions. They have it when like he gets him back, but then they have a lot of conflict because they're trying to figure out like, Sevro is now Ares, right? But Sevro has been like this makeshift leader while Darrow's been gone. But ultimately, Darrow is like the true leader of this rising. Like he's the glue. And then they have conflict when like Sevro or when Darrow gets back in like that first mission or whatever. And like that kind of was hurting my heart.
Yeah, same.
It made me really sad.
It's kind of getting into Sevro like character development here, but
That's fair.
Sevro's whole like leadership arc honestly was just so heartbreaking in general. Like you can really tell like ever since the beginning of the series, I think that Pierce Brown knew that like obviously Sevro was like half red, half gold, and he wrote that very well like into his personality. And I think it kind of showed here that like he doesn't have like the leadership skill. He's kind of just more cutthroat, And it made me sad that like he couldn't be a leader like Darrow because the whole like Sevro being Darrow's shadow thing, like Sevro just wanted to be like Darrow, like
Sevro was
at
the
his core.
fist.
Yeah.
Sevro was the fist, and like Mustang was the brain.
Yeah.
And Darrow was like
The puppet master or something, really.
the mouth. I don't know.
Yeah, the mouth.
That's a common theme I've seen in books or like stories where you have like everyone's really good at one thing and then you have one character who's kind of okay at or decent at everything. And then oftentimes you get the ones who are specialized be like, why do you get to be in charge? I'm the strongest or she's the smartest or whatever. And then you realize like somebody who kind of understands it all needs to play the pieces that are all specialized.
Mm-hmm.
And this book deals with that in a very concise, like just the brawn versus the kind of puzzle guy. But yeah, at first I didn't like we were saying before, I didn't like that arc that much, I thought. And then as I've thought about it more, I actually do. Like I was thinking about what else can you fill that gap with? Mm-hmm. How else can you show how time has passed, how Darrow was imprisoned, what Sevro had to do to keep the uprising alive, like all these things. And honestly, that does make the most sense. Like Sevro taking control, not wanting to give it back or thinking he couldn't. It made sense.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. And I think that while the conflict between Severo and Darrow was a little bit annoying to read, like I don't know if you guys felt that way, but especially when they're going to Quicksilver, and like that whole mission, and like that's where a lot of the conflict is like Darrow took over and gave the howlers orders, and like that killed him inside to like take Severo's authority away. I was like, this is kind of annoying. Like, and then when they get back on the ship and they're fighting and like punching each other, like, or you know, when they're bickering, I'm like, this is kind of annoying to read because like you just want them to be besties.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a book 2 thing. Like this is something that you would expect to read in book 2.
Yeah, that's actually so fair.
Because then you're like, okay, this all happens, character development, everyone, and then book 3 is just protagonist versus antagonist conclusion. Like this is where everyone's on the same side, all that kind of subterfuge is past, beat the bad guy. So this happening in the middle of book 3, you're like, I don't really care about this anymore. I just want to see how do we beat Jackal.
That's a really good point, actually. I think it added a lot of depth to the book, though.
I did too.
A lot of unexpected character development that I really enjoyed.
No, I mean, it was annoying, but like it was so rewarding. Like when they make up.
Yeah. Like, honestly, Severo wasn't really in the second book a lot.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
I actually have a point about that.
So him being a like true main character in the third book, I really appreciated it.
This isn't necessarily a theory, but like here's my thought on like book 2 versus book 3. Book 2 was like Darrow's book. It was you get to know him like on a much deeper level. You, in my opinion, like this is where book 2 is where I felt like I really got to know Darrow, like his motivations, like what he was working towards now that he's like distanced from Eo's death. Like I just felt super in his head and in touch with his emotions, like his loneliness and his fear and like his love for Mustang, but like the conflict with his love for Eo and like his betrayals and like, as I said, feeling so alone, not being able to share with anybody. Like I feel like that's when you really got to know Darrow, because nobody knew his secret. Like it was just him. But book 3, I think, is a character study on everybody else. Like Darrow took the backseat in this story, in my opinion.
You're 100% right. He says that in his acknowledgments.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Wow.
And I even have like, this is one of the, I highlighted several things in this book, but there are only 2 like quotes that I highlighted that like really stuck out to me. The first one is, I am and always have been a man who is made complete by the people around him. Like, first of all,
I remember that. I know.
But I think that's like that's truly what this book was about.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So
it's fair.
It was like, how are the characters like Mustang, Sevro, Victra, Ragnar, like how are they making Darrow like the piece or the whole puzzle that's going to get them to the end, like defeat the Jackal, defeat Octavia and ahhh, you know. And I really loved that part about this book, because I liked Darrow and I really liked him in the second book, but like he was not ever what really like did it for me, you know. It was Mustang and Severo, and like you got to see so much of that in the third book that it was very rewarding from like a third book standpoint.
Have you watched the show Arcane, the League of Legends? Okay, never mind. You mentioned ahhh. There was a character that I think of when I think of ahhh, but anyways, it doesn't matter. We can continue. But I agree with all your points.
Small plot point, but when Darrow and Victra become howlers, dude, that was so epic nasty. That was so nasty.
Crazy.
Just the straight up like college hazing.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Literally making them like eat bugs. Ew.
And like
Yeah.
and
In
Holiday.
Holiday.
Because
Yeah.
Holiday
yeah.
just like ate the bugs,
Yeah,
right? And Victra
Holiday
and
is
Darrow
such a
are-
badass.
She is.
Loki forgot that she was a howler.
Me
They
too.
kind of like snuck her in, and then they were like,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh crap, they're making
That
her
was
a
not
howler-
like a
howler
huge
too.
part of her identity.
Mm-mm.
No, yeah.
By the way, I did find some cool art of like what their howler's mask looks like.
They have a mask?
Yeah, they have like the
wolf.
howler's
Oh, their
wolf
helmet.
thing.
Their helmets,
Yeah.
yeah.
So a guy on TikTok or Instagram or whatever made the masks for Pierce Brown to give to Brandon Sanderson.
Wait, whoa, sorry, one more time.
So he made masks online for himself. Pierce Brown liked them a lot. And he's like, I'm meeting Brandon Sanderson and I want to give him a howler mask because Brandon Sanderson likes Red Rising.
And he'll give it
And
to
so he made one for Pierce Brown to give to Brandon Sanderson,
Wow,
which is pretty sick.
That's sweet.
He also has some art of the characters, but it's AI art. So, you know, AR or whatever. But it's like by a guy who also made stuff for Pierce Brown. So it's like whatever. He seems pretty official in the regards of deciding a little bit of the direction of the art. So it's kind of cool.
I can't wait to look at fan art. I told
I
Mal
know.
that. I'm so excited.
You're doing a fan art episode?
No,
No,
I
we're just saying in general to look
Oh.
at fan art. I haven't
'cause
looked at
any to avoid spoilers.
no,
There's a lot.
literally any.
But I actually, we'll get into this later, but I realized I did see a spoiler at one point, but I didn't know it was a spoiler. We'll get to it at the end.
I thought I had a spoiler from a coworker. I told him, I was like, I'm 20% into like Golden Sun. And he thought that I meant Morning Star. And so he goes, oh, he was like, I'm about 20% in too. Or I was, it doesn't matter what percent I was, but he's like, I'm about 20% in. I'm at the part when like Darrow is all like scrawny and malnourished. And then he goes, and they're on the way to go rescue Mustang. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? And then after I finished Golden Sun, I was like, oh my God, does Darrow become a red again? That's what I thought that they did to him.
Well, they kind of did.
Kind of.
That's why they had to recarve him.
No,
Mickey recarved him and Victra.
He did. He recarved him, but it wasn't because the jackal carved him into a red again. It was just because his body was like so effed up from imprisonment and like the torture. Like I promise you, I like deeply looked into it. He was not carved back into a red.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the goal was to make him like not a recognizable gold. Like his body was messed
Either
up.
way, he was like destroyed.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
Dang, that's a bummer.
yeah. So, but I mean, I was wrong. Yeah. So it was fine. Yeah. But him rescuing Mustang, I was like, oh God, what?
Okay.
I would say that the book got the most exciting for me was at Quicksilver's. When they did the raid, Mustang came back into the picture.
You okay over there?
There's a hiccup. I've had the hiccups all day.
I know, ever since we got food.
When I was at the Flo Rida concert, I had the hiccups and I like stepped away from the crowd because I was trying to get rid of my hiccups. And one of the security guards came up to me and he was like, do you want me to get you water for your hiccups? And I was like, you sweet, sweet man. But I was like, I'm okay.
Oh,
That's so nice.
The Quicksilver raid. I thought that was like, I liked it. I think I agree. That's kind of when the book becomes very memorable for me from then on out. Mm-hmm. And I loved the like tying each other together and then shooting out the hole and then falling through it so the ship caught them. Mm-hmm. I thought that was great. That reminds me so much of Ender's Game, like physics, and that was good. I liked that. It's like I can see that scene in my head, mm-hmm. which is I imagine is means a writer did a good job.
Mm-hmm. The fact that they exposed themselves to zero grav was crazy.
You actually survive quite a while. Like not a while, but it's like your body can last like a minute. The issue is your blood boils. That's the real.
Yeah, that's effing crazy. Are you telling me right now, like, you would let your blood boil?
No, I wouldn't, but if it's that or death, like certain death.
Just the concept of it, I was like, damn. That's
like the
hard.
lungs, emptying your lungs. I liked that. Like he caught,
that's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
I could never.
That part was crazy. There was just so much action. Everyone reunited, and then they fucking throw themselves into space. Speaking of world building, though, Phobos was where I was the most confused.
I still
On
don't know what
world-
Phobos looks like.
Me neither. And also, like, how did they go from being into a building immediately being exposed to space?
I think it was an arch.
An arch?
A what?
I'm pretty sure it was like a big arch, and they said the museum was at the top, and it went so high up the top was like in zero grav or something. There was something about like
The whole
arch.
entire time they were on Phobos, it was zero grav.
Okay, yeah. But then in the arch it had gravity. But I'm almost positive it was like some kind of arch. I could be wrong, but I just remember it being like
It was
at the
super
top.
hard to picture.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Either
why-
way, I totally agree.
The whole, like, being exposed to space thing didn't make sense to me until it was happening. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like I
Where
kind
in
of just let my
space?
mind not think about it too much
I mean, same.
until it became extremely relevant and they like had to expose themselves to
Yeah,
zero grav.
same.
Within the localized thing, like of each scene, it made sense. But then figuring out how that related to every other scene, I was like, okay, where? Like, how did we? Like in space, I was like, okay, big ship, planet, got it. In the little museum, okay, there's a room here, and they punch through the window, and there was like catching by the ship. Like that made sense. But then anytime I'm like, okay, that's Phobos, but then all of a sudden they're like in their safe house. How did they?
Yeah.
That's where I was like, okay, where are we again?
And at one point they were in like a garbage chute. I'm like, where are
Yeah.
we?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that it was very confusing.
It was very confusing to keep up with what Phobos was.
Agreed. I think that like the Quicksilver plot line in general and his relationship to the story was really interesting because I never would have anticipated that, but it was necessary. Like, yes, how did the Rising have any money when Ares was around? Like when Fitchner was alive, how did they accomplish anything without the cash? Right? And then you find out that they have this like supporter, a financial supporter in Quicksilver, but like you also find out that they were really good friends, you know?
Quicksilver doesn't die, does he?
No.
Fitchner does, but Quicksilver doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. I was like, well played.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say, I'm so glad we're debriefing this because then I'm kind of like realizing things that don't make sense. So I can ask you. Quicksilver, they tell the Jackal, we have kidnapped Quicksilver, whatever. But then, like, kind of immediately, Quicksilver just becomes another tool and he's hacking the systems and disrupting the communications and stuff. And the other side finds out that Quicksilver is helping them. How did nobody like go after Quicksilver and like kill him? Like, was he just on Phobos?
They
Like,
didn't know that Quicksilver was helping them
They did at some point though.
at a certain point, but not immediately.
I think it was after. I think Quicksilver didn't reveal himself until after they had like done that big battle and already kind of openly been like, we're back, we're fighting, we're here. And Phobos, like the moon belt, when they were progressing towards Luna and like that stuff, I think that is when Quicksilver did his final big hack that like
it
revealed
wasn't
himself.
until after they get Morning Star.
Yes.
Okay.
When they're going towards Luna to fight the Jackal, that big last hurrah, I think that is when Quicksilver does his
After
last.
like the Romulus conflict, that's when it's finally comes out because he has that call with the Jackal. I think that's
Yes, and then I'm pretty sure Quicksilver gets involved somewhere around there. Or that's where the Jackal goes like, oh, Quicksilver was on your side?
yes, I think that's what it was.
Because Quicksilver had hacked something before then or something like that.
Yeah.
And crippled the Jackal's something or another.
Okay. That's just one thing I was like, when did they find out? Because
it was definitely after Roque, like that, I think. So because they didn't have the like communications when they were invading. I don't remember what Roque's ship was called before Morning Star, but
so they went from Phobos to Holiday's ship to the North Pole ice obsidians place.
I'm still not processed.
What happened to Cavix and okay, wait, now I'm confused. On
They
the timeline.
technically like captured the Telemonuses and Mustang.
Not Mustang.
No Mustang.
Mustang got away. They capture a few of the Telemonuses.
They captured Cavix for sure.
And then they release him, the Mustang, when they realize like, oh, they're not really against us. Because he he didn't follow him to the North
Ragnar
Pole.
releases him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they get the Telemonases. They got him kind of there. They see Mustang. Mustang's like, blah, 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 whatever she says. Go save. I have the ship.
Orion's alive.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
The
then
Paxes.
they release Kavix and them because they realize that like their fight isn't with them. Like things can be smoothed over. And then they jump out the ship, or the building, get in the ship, go straight out to the North Pole.
But what happens to Sevro and like there are other characters?
Oh, maybe there's a gap there.
I just can't remember. It's probably not really
It's-
relevant.
yeah, it's
Either
Probably
way,
not that.
and scene, next spot, we're on the North Pole of Mars.
Imagine if Cassius had died there. Like,
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, I want this bitch dead.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I was like,
getting
Mustang,
tired
I
of
knew
it.
he
you
wasn't
missed,
gonna
bitch.
die.
You missed.
I was,
And you shouldn't have.
Yeah. It pissed me off so bad when Aja didn't die. Oh my
I
gosh.
just knew, too.
Why
like,
was she fucking invincible? I know why, but like, oh my gosh.
I could have used like a chapter more on Aja. Like why she's just the best.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, she trained for like ever with the old
Lorne.
guy, Lorne.
Lauren.
But as we see later in the book, she's unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
It takes literally 4 of them.
4 of the best fighters in the universe in different styles to beat her.
Yeah.
I know they're injured, like Cassius is like they're all kind of injured at that point, but still, she's like perfect. And I think I could have used with just a drop more of why she was invincible. I did like that she was so. I did like her existence. Like I never once was like, oh, they're gonna flip her. I was like, no, she is fully convinced in what she thinks is right, and she's gonna go down with the sovereign. You find a way to kill her because nothing else is gonna happen. I kind of like that. I liked her as a character.
She did add a lot. And she was a necessary character for sure. But dang, she was giving Lionel from Zodiac Academy. Like that
couldn't
bitch would not die.
Bitch could not die.
Yeah.
And it was annoying. I mean, she played her part. She was necessary to the story, but like annoying.
Yeah. Frustrating.
But so was Cassius. I was like,
For
God, just die already.
yeah.
For those of you who have watched Arcane, the character with the like metal arm that like punches, not Vi. I forget her name. She's like the underboss to Silco. I think when I think Aja, I think her. Anyways, there you go.
Thank you for that clarification.
Just
Nolan.
put it up there for your 2 listeners that actually have watched both that and Red Rising. They'll be like, oh, I see it. Totally, bro.
Probably for our 0 listeners.
Hey, you got plenty of listeners. Yeah, me.
And even you don't listen
Some
to
episodes.
everybody else.
The episodes where I can relate or understand the books.
Yeah, I don't know. That obviously that scene was frustrating and heartbreaking. Like I sobbed.
Yeah. When Ragnar died,
This was cry count
sobbing.
1 for me.
It was so cruel. Cruel?
Cruella DeVille.
It was so cruel of Pierce Brown to like almost kill Ragnar. Like right before that and then actually kill him. That was so cruel. That was so mean.
Yeah.
He has a thing for killing the big protective guy. Because he also killed Pax. But literally every time there's like a big, kind of dumb, strong man, he's like dead. The 2 times in this book. Well, I'm shocked that the Telemonases didn't die. I was fully expecting them to die at some point.
I was too.
I was like, these guys
Yeah.
are dead.
I thought so too.
And
Also-
Mustang's gonna be pissed and yada
Yeah.
yada.
Yeah. The Telemonases were like multiplying. I'm like, where
I
did these
couldn't-
like daughters come from?
Could not keep track of how many or
No.
which one was which.
Yeah.
I was like, where did all these kids come from?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell which one Kavix or I don't know which one's the dad, which one's not.
Daxo is the son. Or Sush, Pax's brother. Kavix
They were
or
always
Kavix.
together. They had weird names, and they never really like distinguished themselves too much. Except one of them had the pet.
Fox.
The fox was funny.
Sophocles?
Yeah, Sophocles.
See, that
The
was
jelly
funny.
beans.
I think I'm telling you right now, mark it, pin it, put it on the wall. When they make this a show, because they will. Those 2 characters will be like the fan favorites. People will love them.
Yeah.
Because
Especially
you'll be able to
Kavix.
see him and you'll tell them apart. And the fox, and he's like always funny, and they'll
Yeah.
cast like the guy from Stranger Things,
He's, like, bald.
the guy with the beard.
Cassius is like bald and has like a big beard.
Oh, they're gonna be like J.K. Simmons or something. Like they'll do something really funny for that casting. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh, great characters. But yeah, the scene on the ice, I was so heartbroken after Ragnar. And I'm not surprised that they kept Cassius alive at all.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but I was like, why? Like, Darrow has this soft spot for him, and nobody else did. And this is where I kind of thought it got boring, right? Is like right after Ragnar dies, like they go. I will say, I was also listening to this like at work while I was actively trying to get something done. And
It
so
wasn't any better for someone who was just reading it. It was a little boring.
Like they meet Ragnar's mom. She's a bitch. Ragnar's mom is like, you're gonna die. They go meet the like obsidians gods and kill them, and then Sephi's on their side, and like I don't know, I was just like, this is kind of boring.
I was gonna say I like to be a blind reader. I don't like to like think too much, and like I like to be surprised. So to me, when the whole like Alina Snowsparrow knew that they were not gods, that to me was like, holy shit!
That
oh
actually,
my gosh,
that actually was really surprising.
And then I was like, and then they went up to the gods, and like Sephi was like learning about all the stuff. Sephi spoke, you know, like killed her mom. I was like, oh shit, you know.
That part was crazy.
I think the thing for me for like a lot of this book that is probably one of my bigger critiques is a lot of the scenes are very separate from each other. They almost feel like episodes. You have like escape episode. Episode 2 is in the secret base. Episode 3 is the Quicksilver incident. Episode 4 is the ice planet. Episode 5, like they are all kind of disjointed at times, and they're very. Whereas in a book like Mistborn, I won't spoil it this time. You do very like there's just there's no. It's just a perfect flow of thing to thing to thing to thing to thing. You're in this world constantly. You're walking through. You're never.
It's because there's not like a bunch of time skips.
No, but this book didn't even have time skips. It doesn't. It starts with one time skip.
100% there were time skips when they're traveling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But well, okay, yes, there are time skips when you're traveling. But the beginning part, none of that was time skips. They're just like
100%. Like the time between when Darrow gets back after he's rescued and when he goes on his first mission, it's like 4 months.
Okay, that's fair.
There's time.
All right, there is time skips.
And they're not like there's not a ton of them, but Pierce Brown's writing is definitely a little bit like choppier than what I'm used to from a fantasy, for example.
Well,
when you get
book 1 even was like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think I just mean like the arc of son dies, they go to the his mom's planet. His mom doesn't agree with them, but because she actually knows the secret but doesn't care because it rewards her. So they go to the sister to get her to help overturn the government, and they have to convince her through acts of bravery that like that whole thing is like a book in and of itself. And that is completely isolated of a story within a bigger story.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's totally fine. It's an absolutely valid way of writing. But then it does sometimes in the middle of it, you're like, okay, can we just, he gets the army. Let's go to the next. Like, let's go to the part that I'm more invested in, which is the intergalactic war with Jackal.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, the allies were necessary, but it was like the journey to get there was, in my opinion, like that part of the book lost me aside from Ragnar's death.
If he just carried Ragnar's dead body to the thing, they were like, oh, our son died for you. You must be great. We'll fight for your cause. And then we skip to the next part. I would have been fine. I would have been like, that makes sense. They would have done it. And then we get to another, then we have time for another space battle.
I'm with you. I feel the same.
Okay. Fair enough.
Honestly, the next big thing I have here is our guy Roque.
Okay, yes.
Is this what you wanted to talk
kind of
about?
It's close. Okay, I think the best part of this entire book, and like the most, I'll just say it is the part where they're winning the battle. They've killed Roque, or they haven't. Roque killed himself.
Okay.
Right after, before, I forget where it is, when they had the outer planets, the outer, what do we call them?
Rim.
Outer rim. They were helping him in that battle, or they were standing on their way. They were helping him, and then he turns and blows up the shipping yards of the outer rim. And the outer rim was ticked, but they couldn't do anything about it. And he's like, you have like 5 minutes to get out of my space, and then we're never talking again. I thought that was 10 out of 10. Encapsulates this book perfectly. Because I was like, what are you doing? Dude, you're backstabbing the guys who just helped you. And then like 5 minutes later, when we get later on in the book, and then you realize that if the outer rim had been strong, they would have just come back and just destroyed. Like, he had to do that, or he would have been destroyed.
You're talking about the part where they bomb the dock?
Yes. To stop the outer rim from coming back later, but he knows it's going to make the outer rim be like, we are never treating with you again. But he knew, like, that encapsulated, I think, the Darrow's growth of figuring out what's the boundary between being a backstabbing evil person and someone who's just got to do what they need to do to like keep the revolution strong and not weak. Right in the middle. And it even made me go like, it seems wrong. But then I'm like, oh wait, crap. Yeah, I would have gotten screwed if I hadn't done that, because of course they would have. It was just a great scene.
Good writing.
Pierce Brown just does the political conflict so well. You know what? I don't know how else to describe like that decision that he made.
It's political.
Yeah.
It's strategic.
The strategy.
The
It does
strategy
it
is
so
so
well.
impressive. Mhm.
Very Game of Thrones-ish in that regard. In the things have consequences with Pierce Brown. Like if you do, like he wasn't very nice to Roque, so Roque betrayed him eventually. Like everything has a consequence in this series when it comes to politics and relationships and strategy. Much like in Game of Thrones, where, you know, the Red Wedding happens because he doesn't marry who he's supposed to. He marries that lady from another family. And then he's like, well, okay, you know, everything has a consequence.
Yeah.
And I think that always pays dividends.
The whole like Roque space battle was insane to me. That I think
10 out of 10.
aside, like I mean, obviously the ending is going to be my favorite, but like that battle is probably my favorite part of the book because just so much happens. Like the claw drills and like the hell divers, like
That was so
badass.
Yeah.
Helldivers video game. It's basically the same thing, which is funny.
Okay.
You invited me on here for the video, for the new viewpoint, and Helldivers is literally a video game.
Okay. I like the
Hashtag sponsored by Helldivers.
No, we are not sponsored
Two,
by
not one.
Helldivers. I love the chapter titles there. Like the chapter title was Helldiver, and then that chapter ends, and it's like something blah blah blah. We're the Helldivers, and we're bringing hell. And then the next chapter is called Hell. I don't know. Y'all caught that.
I don't read the chapter titles like ever.
My second quote: "This full body chills, and honestly, I cried."
You could just put "and honestly, I cried" after like every book reaction.
That's honestly so fair. This battle, like right before he goes onto like Roque's ship or something, like either in the middle of this battle or right after he gets onto Roque's ship, whatever it is, he says, "If you're watching EO, it's time to close your eyes."
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like
yeah. Full body chills.
I literally feel nauseous.
That was funny because I was kind of like,
oh no. That was
I
like,
think it was good writing, but I was like, ugh.
That was so good.
It's like the guy in the
There were
football huddle. It was like,
so
oh my God.
many good quotes
Like,
in this book.
Yeah,
agree
so
with
many like one-liners like that.
Yes.
I was speechless. Like I had to put the book down.
Yeah. They're kind of on like the note that Nolan was saying, like there were so many moments in this book where Darrow finally became the full realized leader that he needed to be. But it also kind of came at the price of the reader being like, oh, like I don't like that you did that. Like him literally destroying the docks and killing
millions
thousands
of people.
Reds.
Yeah.
Probably billions.
Him
billions.
enslaving Reds to Romulus.
To the rim, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. Like
Which
that's
is
not
a-
the Darrow that I thought you like, you know, but it also made sense.
He wouldn't have made that decision in book 2 and it would have screwed him.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
That
it
is such a good
literally
point. Yeah,
it
he
would have
would've.
screwed him.
Yeah.
But like that's not the decision he would have made. He
It
would have
wouldn't,
made like
yeah.
the ethical moral choice, like
Yeah.
the moral conflict, he would have done the other thing,
He would have.
and it would have screwed him.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I like that decision so much.
In kind of in a similar vein, like you know how
For character growth, not
we've talked
ethical reasons.
we've talked so much about like Darrow's fear.
Mm-hmm.
He is a lot more unafraid in this book.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't talk about it nearly as much. There are definitely moments, but it's like he has moved past that a little bit. And especially in the parts where he was saying like, I never saw myself surviving this war. Like I always knew that the end was going to be that I would end before this war did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I think that played a part of it.
I think it's like book 1, he talked the talk. Book 2, he tried to walk the walk, and it failed on him at the end because it caught up to him. And then book 3, he learned, and he fully walks the walk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh, it hurt so good.
The battle scene was so good.
That,
I
like,
thought it was very good.
Yeah. No,
I didn't mean to cut you off if you were talking about more character, but
no, just that battle was 10 out of 10. And I feel like that is the moment where you're like, holy shit, Darrow's the leader that he's always needed to be.
it's very. I just liked that it didn't evolve into what a lot of sci-fi fantasy like ship battles are, where it's just like sea battles in space. You know, ooh, they pull up broadside and they fire broadsides, and then they spin around and then they fire broadside. Like it was different. They had like the drills and the hell pods shooting into each other, and there was still some of the classic tropes of space fights, and there wasn't insane amounts of innovation. Like I've seen things where people actually talk about space battles being like thousands of miles apart, and they're using lasers because they like shoot instantly, and all this kind of like more realistic in the sense of maybe we could design this one day type stuff, but within the reasonable sense of scale, it was good. I thought it was good, and I liked that. I liked the fighting through the hull scene when they like I thought it was really graphic, but really good when they have the claw drills drilling through and people getting sucked out of the compartments behind the drill as it's going through the bulkheads. And I'm like, that's visceral. I see that in my head. Like
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
it is, but like that again, Warhammer, like that is a kind of gritty space ness that I think
Grimdark.
it was somewhat grimdark. Yeah, it was somewhat grimdark compared to like Star Trek, where you know just these big clean ships shooting each other, and we lost 5,000 people, but whatever, who cares? Captain Kirk's okay.
Yeah.
Every battle was very unique.
It honestly, it was. That's a
Yeah.
really good point.
Which is hard.
Like they're
Yeah.
distinct in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's the Iron Rain that's very like specific. And then there's, like you said, the freaking claw drills in space. Like everything was very unique.
Uniqueness in space fights often is what people remember
Yeah.
because everyone's seen the tried and true pew pew.
Especially something that's like personally not easy to visualize. Like I just don't have a lot of experience like reading about, you know, spacecrafts and watching it, like Star Wars, Star Trek, like never really watched that. And so to be able to make those distinct and not just bleed together for me and so that they're indistinguishable in my head, that's honestly very impressive. And there are parts of those scenes where I literally just kind of let it go in one ear out the other because I was like, I don't understand what a freaking leech craft is or a rip wing. Like, I'm not going to try to pretend
Little
like
fighters, I believe.
Yeah. Like, you know, one thing about like the roque battle was that the strategy was so well done. Like we talked about how you kind of like it's a show not tell situation, but like we obviously knew that Sevro was somewhere and that Mustang, like all of them kind of had their different missions.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're standing in front of roque and they're like, have you not asked yourself where Sevro was this whole time? I was like, I haven't been.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about Sevro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing, he doesn't go all out in trying. I think he finds a perfect middle ground between. Last time I bring up Ender's Game, I think Ender's Game does a great job, the books, of describing that when we think about space, we often think about like my ship's over here, your ship's over here, maybe a little bit of 3D, like a ship down there and a ship down there, but like none of that actually in true space. down is up is down. Like there's no directional anything. Momentum is king. And so you can think of it as they're below you at all times. Like he does keep it simple and keep it kind of like ships are here, their ships are there, they come at each other, which is fine. Like it is completely fine. It is not how it'd probably develop in real life, but
If that had been an element of this series, I fear I would not have been able to read it. Like
Literally.
that, if that would not have been approachable for me, and I wouldn't have been able to read it.
I think that's what I mean. I think he was just like, I'm more of a political drama with sci-fi battles than I am a sci-fi battle book, which is fine. I was just thinking that I was like, okay, he could have gone to the next step, but I think it would have been too confusing.
Yeah.
Anyways, Roque.
Rourke?
Roque.
Roque.
Some character. Rourke is a character. I don't know where though. Anyways, Roque.
That is a character. O'Rourke or something. Anyway, I did cry when Roque died. I did think that was very emotionally tugging at my heartstrings because, okay, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit here, but like Cassius changed. You know what I mean? Roque could not. But Roque was always a more like soft-hearted, like intelligent kind of character. So it was just really sad that he's like, I'm gonna kill myself because I'm never gonna change my opinion. And that was just so depressing. And then Darrow like having a funeral for him and like no one else wanting to
Literally nobody else cared about him.
Nobody else cared, but Darrow did. And it just
and Cassius, I guess.
Yeah, Cassius.
Because he let him come to the funeral, and that was like the start of their healing.
Yes.
I liked when he cut his head off. I didn't feel that. Like I was like, okay, that was coming. But I thought the real emotional punch was like him inhabiting his room, Roque's room,
and he was like, Roque has good whiskey
and the whiskey. I thought that was a really interesting scene of having him. Instead of having a conversation and then being like, I can't do this, and then like killing himself in a cell or something after they talked, and then no, Darrow just goes in his room and is like sees it exactly as Roque left it and picks up the pieces and like, oh man, the
scenes that like he most commonly watched were like all from the Institute, like of them. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No, I know what you're saying.
That I think was a very interesting way of doing that character. To piece, and I was like, oh, okay. And then of course leaving Cassius with the films.
Yeah. It was hard as a reader too, not only because we grew to love Roque so much in the first book because Darrow and his bond, you know? And I always thought that like in the end when Roque dies, Roque would be like, I still love you as a brother or whatever, like we have our differences and I see it. That never happened. Roque was like closed off to the end, and that was so sad. And I know you bring up the point about like him constantly watching the Institute videos, but I don't think that was for like nostalgia and like missing Darrow. I think that was of him like confused and like trying to figure out like Darrow's inner workings and like how he could have slipped past him. You know what I mean? I think that Roque really
was trying to figure out where it went wrong.
Yeah.
As a it made sense to me.
I think the writing was on the wall for like Roque's death. I think since book 2, I like just felt like and knew that he was going to die, and obviously it was like at whose hand. I never suspected that he would kill himself. Like,
yeah.
I always thought it was just gonna have to be a situation where Darrow had to kill him.
Yeah.
You know? And that's actually one area where I was like, Darrow, you could have saved so many lives if you had just cut his head off. Like, whenever they like are talking with Romulus.
Yeah. But then Romulus would have killed Darrow. Like, he would have he would have broken Romulus's rules right in front of him.
I mean,
and it would have been Darrow and Mustang against.
They would have never been able to kill the Docs. And
yeah.
I know, but like, I don't know.
I know it's an unfortunate situation that Romulus let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It did break my heart though.
Yeah.
Because I knew how much it broke Darrow's heart, especially having to watch it.
Yeah.
It was just a very hard scene to read. But you know what was also a hard scene to read was when Cassius and Darrow hang out. Afterwards, he's like, "Can you please bring Cassius up here?" And they literally just hang out.
Yeah.
Like,
I know that you said you wish he had just died on the ice. Secretly, in my heart this entire time, I have been waiting for the moment that Darrow and Cassius become friends again. Because I miss them from the first book.
It felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah, it always felt like it was going to happen, and I loved them in the first book together. Like they had their brotherhood, and I know Cassius kind of had like that frat bro kind of energy sometimes, and then in the end, but I always thought they would make up at the end. You know what I mean?
I think it encapsulated guy friendships. No, what?
No, it was not where I expected you to go with that sentence.
No, I think it encapsulated guy. I think those three characters encapsulated guy friendships very well, in that it shows a combination of different ways those things go. First of all, they became friends just because they were like in the same institute, and they just bonded over the fact that they were like, "Oh, you're cool. All right, we got to do this thing together," which is a very stereotypical guy way of bonding. They became close friends. They respected each other, and then between Cassius and Darrow, it became their friendship broke because of something external. Like it was Darrow killed his brother, but it wasn't Darrow's choice. They were at the beginning. It was sliced because of circumstance, right? They were forced apart. Mm-hmm. Roque and Darrow later became purely ideological. Like Darrow was like, "We have to go this way." Roque was like, "I have to go this way." They were never going to. Mm-hmm. And much like people with politics, religion, whatever it is, whatever like ideological thing it is, can drive wedges between people who everyone else would be like, "Oh, you two are best friends." No, there was something too deep for these two characters in this hyper political time of this book could not overcome, and of course it leads to like a death. Whereas Cassius and Darrow eventually come back together because they realize that the divides were external things. At the end, they both valued the same things, which was like honor and respect and family. They had just been forced apart because of conflict, and they came back together and became friends. So I think it tackles guy friendships, or just friendships in general, in a very interesting and excessive way. Like, obviously these aren't things that happen to normal humans, but it is a way of showing that through story.
Thank you for that commentary as a man.
As a man, thank you.
You're a resident guy.
Yeah.
And I fade out into black, and then I come back in the next time you need next time you have a male writer that you read, I'll magically reappear.
One scene that I thought was very moving was when the obsidians are about to execute Cassius. How many death scares for Cassius do we have in this book? So many.
For real.
But
and Sevro, right? Don't they almost kill Sevro too?
Yeah. Like Sevro pretends to kill himself because he makes a point. He's like, I've killed this many golds, I've killed this many reds, I've killed this many grays. And he was like, and so what does that make me? A murderer. Jumps.
That was funny.
Hangs himself.
And what do we do with murderers?
Yeah.
Does the backflip.
Does a backflip.
Do a flip.
That was actually one of my favorite scenes in the book.
That was a great scene.
Yeah.
Impactful, very, totally.
Yeah, it was just a very, memorable, moving, big statement, him saying he forgives Cassius and, proving a point to all of the colors there, but, especially the obsidians. The fact that the obsidians were on shrooms during the battle was so funny.
That was funny.
It took me a second to, catch it. They were they kept calling it the god's
bread.
Yeah, the god's bread. And I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then Victor's like, no, I don't want to take mushrooms. And I was like, wait, what?
I think we should just go to Sevro and Mustang in the final.
Do you want to say what you were going to say?
Oh, well, I was just going to say I am very happy and relieved that Cassius and Darrow ended up, with their friendship the way it was. That was probably the most satisfying part of the ending to me. It felt so full circle and brotherhood.
Yeah, you realize the
know?
whole story was a friendship story, not a
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
Like Mustang and him are obviously like gonna be father and mother to this child, but the real story is Cassius and what? Tapax, the little baby.
While I was not actively rooting for Cassius and Darrow the whole time, like I was, there was a part of
You
me
hate
that
friendship, I get it.
there was a part of me that always wanted them to like make amends, but I just didn't. Especially with Pierce Brown's writing, I was like, I didn't see it maybe becoming a
Happy.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way this ends well, right? But that moment, and we're getting into the ending, so that moment when he goes to let Cassius out of his cell and like is saying, I'm gonna let you go, I was like, oh my God, this is everything I wanted and needed. Like,
yes.
this is it. This is what I
Yes.
needed.
Like
And then
closure.
Then he puts 6 bullets in Sevro's chest, and I was
Sobbing.
I became the worst version of myself in
Oh,
that
Yeah.
moment.
I have so many pictures. She was crying.
You like
Me too.
But like
I haven't cried that hard
It was
in a book
bad.
since Mistborn. Like that was crazy.
which again.
This what I was doing was crazy behavior.
Well, I think I thought I thought that whole thing, Cassius betraying them and then actually not betraying them, that I think it only worked because he had bought your belief that things would end poorly through his other
That's
writing.
so true.
Like if that book, like if no offense, Brandon Sanderson, obviously like top whatever writer. I think if he did that, I'd be like, okay, this is gonna be like this is gonna end well. Like this is not gonna end like this. But I was reading this book and I was like, I mean, there's more books after this. I could totally see this ending really poorly, or it's them succeeding, but only because like everyone dies except maybe Mustang or something. You know, I could see it. This would not be unrealistic to expect this to actually have
He
happened.
So
teed it
true.
up because he's already killed off Ragnar. He already killed off
Book
Roque.
2 ended with a horrible
Like
betrayal by
Fitchner's
Rogue.
gone. Like all of these people have died. Quinn. Like
Betrayals have happened constantly.
yeah. So I was like, it would not surprise me if Sevro was actually dead.
Yeah.
Hannah and I were talking though earlier, and we had in the moment a theory. Like I personally was thinking it, and she also was too. Is that what if Mickey had carved somebody to look like Sevro?
Yeah.
And like act like him. But what ended up happening was so much cooler.
Imagine if what occurred was Cassius kills Sevro because he knows they'll get him. They get an audience with the Sovereign because he knows that's what's going to happen. In the Sovereign's room, he turns, kills them all with like some bomb or just Cassius is cool. And then no, he actually did kill Sevro, but he needed that to get in the room. And then Cassius is like, kills himself. He's like, I had to do that to end this all. I know I didn't want to kill Sevro, but it's the only way I could do it. Kills himself. Done. Like that's the book. Like that would make sense. You could see that occurring. Like Cassius just knew he had to do whatever he had to do to end this cycle.
Yeah.
But he gives us that happiness by keeping Sevro alive.
I really thought that like Sevro like knew that he was gonna die. Like I was like, he sacrificed himself is what I thought.
I agree. Like Sevro, like there's a lot of ways that I was like, yep, this makes sense.
Yeah. It fooled me. That's for sure. That's why I said gullible reader. Like I did not see that turning out the way it did. But
Yeah.
thank God, because I was sobbing. I was a mess.
I was too. I literally told Nolan, I was like, I don't know how I keep reading this. And then I texted you and I said DNF at 92%.
Yeah.
And I've read the books at this point, and so I'm like, just read 30 more minutes. But you can't say that. I can't be here and be like, it's gonna be okay. Like I just have to be like,
I didn't want the rest of that book if Sevro was gonna be dead. But I figured that like I knew something bigger was coming. Because I was like, how do we get here how do we resolve this with the jackal?
5%.
Like it was just so crazy. Victra, not Victra, Antonia, like putting the gun in Darrow's mouth. I was like, that's
Yeah.
who killed her again? One of the honor knights or whatever? Didn't one of the knights? Or Cassius killed her?
no.
Antonia.
Adrius did. No.
No.
They're in the Sovereign's room. The Sovereign's like, you're a traitor, you ran, and then someone kills her.
One of the knights or
It's
something.
I think it's Aja.
That was satisfying.
I think it's Aja. She
Yeah.
strangles her and like breaks her.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
she
That's right.
strangles-
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God that bitch died.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
she
was
killed
actually
Thistle
heinous.
after Thistle was gonna like redeem herself.
That was so hard.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
All because she got made ugly by like the bullet or whatever. Didn't she get like shot and it made her
No,
broke her? They messed her beauty up.
Victra beats the shit out of her.
And then it breaks her face or whatever.
Yeah.
Makes her ugly or not pretty anymore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Antonio was a good villain. Antonio was like a mean girl villain. Like just mean and spite. And then Aja was like honorable, but on the wrong side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I loved how they handled the sovereign's son or grandson.
Lysander.
Yeah.
Cassius.
Like it set it up very much of like, okay, like I haven't started Era 2. I read like the prequel, like the thing that's included at the end of book 3.
Oh, I didn't read that.
There's barely, and it's, I know that Lysander is going to be important. Darrow's son and Lysander are going to be the pivotal characters, I feel like, at some point in the Era 2.
Yeah.
I do not know at this point if Lysander is good or bad.
I do
Yeah.
know
Like that.
something. I do know something about the second series that like I kind of wish I didn't know. It's not like a spoiler, but I was like, I wish that I had been able to figure that out organically, and I'm excited for you guys to like experience it.
There's something I know about the second series too that did kind of alter my. I mean, it's not really a spoiler or anything.
Just that it's multiple people.
Yeah.
That Lysander has a POV.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
3
knew
people,
that-
and all of them like their POVs do not overlap at all.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I knew it was Darrow. I assumed it was Lysander, and then I'm assuming Pax is the third.
I think one of them is a girl, or maybe it's not 3 POVs, but I do know that like
Yeah, it's multiple.
Brenna told me this, and she was like, there's multiple POVs and none of them interact at all. So like they're all in different places. It's like all happening at the same time, but it's not happening in the same. Maybe it's not even in the same book. Maybe each book is like a different POV.
I heard he gets whatever it is. I heard he gets better at it because someone said that like at first in the Era 2 he's kind of rough at it, and then by the end he's again mastered it. Just like he mastered storytelling or not mastered it, but got much better as the books went on.
But
Overall.
honestly, I think that's going to be interesting. Like I'm excited to read that,
Overall.
whatever it looks
But
like.
I am not reading it before it's finished.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
I'm not
I don't
either.
want to start that and then be finished on a book 6. And I bet you, I apparently, no, I won't say
I think
that.
Lightbringer
I won't
is
say
supposed
what
to
I
be
heard.
somewhat soon.
I don't know.
2026 is what I heard.
Yeah, I think summer of next
he's
year.
pushed it back so many times.
Really?
Yeah.
He doesn't strike me as someone who would do that. He seems like he's
Because
been...
he just wants the last book to be like perfect. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair.
Anyhow, we're almost done. We need to talk about the last thing. Fucking Pax.
Little baby packs.
Yeah.
Little baby.
I didn't see that coming.
I did not either. Y'all are so used to
I didn't see that coming at all.
long baby making scenes that it surprised you when a character...
Oh my gosh, Nolan.
You can cut that, obviously.
You're banned.
Wow, I'm disinviting you from this podcast.
Well, romance books have like such long... You know, you got your payoff scene, but in this book, it was just... They had a romantic night, and then all of a sudden there was a baby 9 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I,
I
was
mean-
trying to say.
I just found it very interesting that like she was able to hide that from him.
I mean,
But
he
that she
wasn't
was able to-
there.
No,
He
no,
was in
no.
a box.
No, I meant like keep it a secret the whole time.
Afterwards?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. She's so good at secrets.
And it made the whole thing with his mother make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like why she was actually so like on the fence and she wasn't actually betraying him. She was just like, I don't know if I should tell him. And then his mom was, that all made sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think in retrospect, the pieces, I bet you if we went back and read it, you'd be like, oh, that's why Mustang kind of like, yeah, it would be like,
100%. Like he even tells her, I know that you're still holding something back from me. Like you haven't.
I forgot he did that.
He vocalizes it.
Yeah.
He says like you like I passed your test. Why are you still holding back?
Mm-hmm.
And then she tells him like I've been wanting to tell you since this, but your mom told me not to tell you.
Yeah.
So
His mom be keeping secrets.
Yeah.
EO's last words about the baby too.
his mom didn't know that.
No, she did. She had the crib in the house. She told the sister to go back and destroy the crib before.
You're right.
So this is the spoiler I accidentally saw that I didn't realize was a spoiler. I saw something on TikTok about like Darrow's child, and I'm pretty sure it was talking about Pax, but then it was in book 2, right? That we found out about Eos. It was before I had read that, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's not that like big of a spoiler. You know what I mean?
You just thought it was an unborn child.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually worked out so in your favor.
It did.
That's
It
actually
did.
crazy.
That is pretty
Yeah.
wild.
That's
it
lucky.
really did. So I didn't see it coming. Still was blindsided to it. But
Wow.
yeah. I cried at the ending because it was just such a good
Oh,
ending.
It was really good ending.
I cried at like
Yeah.
when he finds out. Yeah.
But I was reading like when I was on like the second to last chapter, I'm like, this is like ending very close to the edge of the conflict. Like
It was very fast.
very fast.
It was a very fast ending.
It didn't feel like super rushed. Like they had like a full form like battle with Aja and like that kind of stuff. But then like you time skip to Earth
Well,
and you're kind of like, oh, wow.
Era 2 is a 20-year skip.
I figured so.
And that's not a spoiler.
You're
like
telling me
the
Darrow's
first sentence
43 years old?
Yeah, like I'm not even spoiling it because it's like the first sentence is 20 years. Like it's basically like almost instantaneously you find out about that.
Which is like I figured.
I don't want to read about Darrow being 40 years old.
I have a thought. I agree with you. Like the ending in a way did feel rushed. Like I was like, we're at 95% and the jackal is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
And then like all of a sudden Jackal's tongue gets ripped out. The nukes are going off and like that all just kind of wrapped up. All of a sudden Mustang is sovereign. Like it was a whirlwind in the last like 5%.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was intentional because it's like, here's what you need to know before you start the second series,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like you need to know Mustang is sovereign. Mustang is sovereign. Lysander and Cassius, you know about Pax.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things like happen. Jackal's dead, obviously. Like Octavia's dead. Aja's dead. Like you know that all of these people that were big players are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that while the war is won, like the political or the conflict and like the rising and everything that's going to come after is going to like continue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly thought it was a very satisfying ending.
I did too. I cried from happiness.
I did too.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny how he has a perfect ending with the "This is your son, Pax." Like that's the last line, and then there's an epilogue, and it like is the next sentence.
Oh.
And I right now he wrote that. He's like, oh, this is the perfect ending sentence. And then he went, but I want to tell them more. And then he's like, okay, actually she gave birth. Like he wanted to just tell us how it all happened without going to another book. And so he just wrote the little epilogue rather than another chapter that said all that. Because he didn't want his like chapters to not end on this perfect sentence. It was literally the equivalent of a PS. It was a PS.
Yeah.
Which is just funny that you could tell he was just like, but I need to tell you one more.
Yeah. I want to read the last sentence in the book because I read it probably 8 times, just being like, oh my gosh, it was perfect. I will tell him of the rage of Ares, the strength of Ragnar, the honor of Cassius, the love of Sevro, the loyalty of Victra, and the dream of Io, the girl who inspired me to live for more. It just I'm feeling the tear feeling in the back of my eyes right now.
Yeah,
just
your eyes
the
are...
way you know what that feeling? You know that feeling? Like you feel like you're like I could cry right now if I wanted to.
If I tried.
The way that it all came back just around to Io, like that was just so perfect.
Yeah, it really was a very, very good ending.
And then I mean, like I'm just like looking at all my quotes now, and it's just there's so many quotes towards like in the second half of the book where you're just like, oh yes, that fits perfect. Like that wraps up the character development. That wraps up his relationship with Cassius. That wraps up. It just all felt so perfectly. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I'm
very
overwhelmed with
poetic,
my
very poetic moments at the end, like in the writing too.
Yes.
You could tell he was like bow tied.
Yeah.
Sevro and Victra and Darrow's relationships. Very like third wheeling. I know like Darrow's obviously with Mustang, but like the kind of that whole friendship relationship. Victra was kind of in a Darrow, and the Darrow was like, no, that they became close friends, and he could trust her with everything, and all that was very well done. I think through the entire book.
I think they were going to be a good couple.
Victra asking Darrow to walk her down the aisle.
Shut up.
That was pretty good.
That made my heart so
I
happy.
love the way that Darrow weeps.
I know.
Like he cries so easily, and we are kindred spirits in that way.
Doesn't he say that's like a common thing with the Reds? It's like they're very like emotional, like
I
in a
don't
strong
know,
way.
actually.
I believe at the beginning he says like they feel emotion very, or like they
Interesting.
are open to. I think I remember that, but I could be making crap up.
Yeah, Victra, such a badass character. I was so glad she was still alive.
Mhm.
Like, thank
Yeah.
God. She added so much to the third book.
She really did.
Like an irreplaceable character.
Yeah. Somebody that was so unexpected. Like did just Victra being awesome was not on my bingo card.
Yeah, and she was funny.
She was so funny.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Cannot believe that was actually.
Can't believe you
so
snuck that in
funny.
there,
It
Pierce.
is so funny.
He really did that.
There are probably so many people that don't that like totally went over their
Over their
head.
head.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
but all of us we're part of that generation.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, and Sevro, fucking hilarious, shitting his pants and his long toenails.
Half of my highlights in this book are freaking Sevro saying something crazy.
Yeah,
Like, let me just give you a couple of them. I will be brief. Literally, just like some of these are so out of pocket. Nut to butt, sir.
the fungus under my ball sack or whatever.
Roque out butt sucking Fabii. Yeah, the fungus under Aries' sack.
It's like the password is so funny. Side note of Severo, as much as I love Goblin. Speaking of passwords, did you guys pick up on the password of
The one that Mustang
dad had?
says? No, I in my head I was thinking this is significant, but I just didn't.
It was Darrow's prisoner code.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
That's really
It was
wholesome.
like L16363 or something.
Oh, gotcha.
That's really wholesome.
Yeah.
And I believe I read somewhere when I was looking up Easter eggs. That's also the same cell code that Leia has in Star Wars.
Oh.
If I'm wrong, Star Wars people, don't destroy me. I got off like a fandom site.
I think I've concluded my thoughts, everybody.
I could say a million more things, but
No,
this
I-
hour would go on. Or
This
hour?
This
Hour?
hour, this 2 hours.
2 hours.
This 2-hour episode would go on forever.
It would be years. Needless to say, like wrapping up this series as a whole, like what a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
So glad that you and I went on our science fiction journey this year.
Yes.
Like
Hands down.
it ended up being so worth it. After the first book, I was like, we'll see, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
very excited to read the second series
Yes.
whenever the fourth one comes out.
We'll have you reading Grimdark, Warhammer, Cassius Kane books by the end of the year.
No.
No?
I'm going back to my roots after this, and I'm going to read the second era of Mistborn. Thanks for joining us, Nolan.
Yes, thank you, Nolan.
You are such a joy and a blessing to have on this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you. I know you're just saying that because I'm your husband, but I
Yes.
appreciate it. Well, thank you for having me on y'all's podcast. I have watched many of the episodes, and I'm glad to finally.
Many as
I
in
have
two.
watched multiple of the episodes to be on it and say hello to all the fans.
With that said, this is Check This Book Out podcast. I'm Madeline.
I'm Hannah,
And I'm Nolan.
and you should join us next week for another episode where we have lots of fun without Nolan. And follow us on Spotify and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok.
They make good TikToks. I help on those. It's like the one thing I do help on.
You actually do
So,
contribute.
If you think that one was really funny, it was probably me helping.
Loki Nolan actually does some behind the scenes work for this podcast, so let's give credit where it's due, I guess. Yeah. No book releases to announce, so that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we do. The one I'm releasing.
Uh,
I'm not releasing a book. I'm just kidding.
I was like, is this a surprise?
No
You've been
book
writing
yet.
a book?
Maybe one day.
But any other news to update?
No.
No?
But we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Love
See
you
you
guys.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.